It's a great time to be a professional athlete. Just look at how much this guy's making.
The Miami Marlins reeling in Giancarlo Stanton with a jaw-dropping deal worth more than $300 million.
Wow, $300 million. That's like a whale ate a bank. You might think that being a professional athlete means you're set for life, but for every player like Stanton, there's a Smalls from the Sandlot. Killing me, Smalls. So what's it really like to be a pro athlete after your sports career is over? Well, it's bad news. Even though the news is filled with athletes who make more money than entire countries, it's not the reality for most players. According to the NFL Players Association, the average professional football career only lasts about 3.5 years. This is why we hear so many stories of athletes going bankrupt. A few years as a professional athlete doesn't make you Jimmy Buffett. Warren. This means athletes have to find other ways to pay the bills. They have a few options here. Option 1 is endorsements. Every athlete loves endorsements. Tiger Woods made over $78 million last year, partially from endorsements, and that's after blowing his reputation. But only a small percentage of athletes reach enough fame to appear in great movies like this.
Ready? Yeah!
Or even greater ads like these.
This is 1 6-footer I can't handle one-on-one. Ladies, let's have a party.
So what can the rest do? Well, there's always option 2. Bankruptcy. Sure, pro athletes can make hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars annually, but they spend just as much. I know where they're coming from. One time I had a winning lotto ticket, and do you know what I did with the money? I bought more lotto tickets. When looking at the NFL, an estimated 78% of athletes are facing bankruptcy or detrimental financial stress within 2 years of their career's end. They're losing money almost as fast as the Social Security Trust Fund. That's a nerd joke. So most pro athletes choose option 3, transitioning to another career. But finding a new career can be rough. So a lot of athletes start their own thing, like Chicago Blackhawks player Brian Bickle. In contrast to Michael Vick's love for dogs, Bickle's Canine Crush is a foundation he started to save pit bulls. You don't hear about these athletes, but they represent the majority of people who enter professional sports. Here to help us learn more about what it's like to transition out of pro sports is Mac Faulkner, former pro hockey player and executive director of Hockey Players for Kids. Hi, Mac. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Let's start off with a really important question. You used to be a pro hockey player, right?
Yes.
Great. How many teeth do you have?
My front 4 are all caps. They're all just posts with caps on them.
Related or not related to your hockey career?
Related to my hockey career.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been retired from hockey?
About 7 months.
Okay. And what made you want to transition from the pro sports career to post-sports career?
Yeah. Want to transition and have to transition are 2 different questions. You understand that, all right, you can't do this forever, so you start to prospect on what do I want to do next? But it's a difficult question because you've been playing hockey since you were 3, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of somewhat what you defined yourself by. And you go into the room, you see all the fellas, like it's a very different transition, but it's one that every player inevitably at some point has to make.
So tell us about your NGO, Hockey Players for Kids.
We take pro hockey players, and now we work with collegiate teams. We work with the Harvard women's team, and we have 2 programs: Young Readers, where we go into elementary schools and we tell the kids like how reading is a big part of just the whole learning process in life. And we said, what do you do? What do you think we do after hockey? And they're like, Xbox and this.
Yeah.
We're like, we actually read. And they're like,
that's
what?
actually what you do? Okay.
Yeah, and then we catch them. And we try to switch the whole, because
you caught me.
Yeah. Well, your parents and your teachers always tell you to read. The last thing you think in the world is a pro hockey player who's missing a couple teeth of the black eye is like, I read too. And they're like, what?
If anyone wanted to find more information about the NGO that you work with, where could they go?
Yeah, sure. Check us out on Twitter at HP4K or www.hp4k.org.
There you go. Mac Faulkner, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show for this week. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for more bad news. And until then, here's a Zamboni. Here's something good. Thanks.
Also on the metal vocalist is Mac Faulkner, former pro hockey player and executive director of Hockey Players for Kids. Mac, get to the chopper!